Hello and welcome to another version of Frankenclaws here. Today we're going to be working on amethyst nails, and this is a continuation of my current obsession with stone effect nails. So as you can see, I have one done here and it looks pretty realistic. I'm pretty proud of it. It's got some nice translucency and all sorts of cool stuff going on. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So I've got my tip prepped with Beetle's foundation. I've got the little dingle dangle filed off on the end. And I'm going to be using this Gelish Mini in Just Me and My Piano. If that's a reference to something, I don't get it. It's a very strange name for a polish. Not gonna lie. I decided this purple was a little too warm, a little too reddish. So I'm also going to be adding another purple polish to this. And that purple polish is, excuse me, my voice is going, Crystal Violet by McCart. This is part of a whole collection of jellies that they have. They have a really beautiful jelly collection. I highly recommend it. So that's a much, much bluer purple. And it's also, being a jelly, it's going to add some translucency to the gel. So it'll be much easier to get a transparent effect when you're laying it onto the nail. And it's also going to cool down those reddish undertones on the purple. We're also using this Emily white polish, number 11. I'm sorry the camera keeps focusing so much. Still working out technology kinks here. But you know, you didn't come for the technology expertise, you came for the nail art, so I think we can all look past that for now. That's a shot glass of 91% isopropyl alcohol. That's what I use to thin out the gel polish. And that's what I'll be using to clean the paintbrush as well. And the paintbrush I'm using is literally just a polygel brush. It's nothing special. It's the same brush I used for the rose quartz tutorial. It doesn't even really have a sharp edge to it. But you don't really need a sharp edge for this technique. It's very simple. It's very beginner friendly. It's a whole lot of fun. All right, so we're gonna go in here and we're gonna start just kind of dabbing on the purple in different spots. And we're going to leave a space in between the sections for different opacities to shine through. And also to figure out where our little cracks are going to show up. It kind of bothered me while I was working on this nail that I could see the putty underneath on the nail stand. I don't know why it kept bothering me. It was, I don't know, maybe it was just screwing with my eyes or something. But it was making it really hard for me to gauge where and how much purple there was. So I struggled a little bit with this nail, but I think it came out really beautifully. If I do say so myself, and I do. I'd also like to point out that I am using the correct microphone tonight. I didn't realize last night, as I was using my snazzy new microphone, that I had the wrong microphone selected in my recording app, and yeah. But you know what, it was late, I was tired, I was really frustrated. I had recorded that about 5,000 times, which is why my voice is a little cracking right now. All right, so I'm just drying off my brush a little bit here. You're gonna notice if you are really thinning out your polish that you're probably gonna get some pooling on the sides. That's totally normal. That's gravity doing its thing. So you're gonna wanna suck up some of that liquid, otherwise it's gonna be physically uneven and you're gonna get a weird border that you probably don't want. So just keep an eye on your edges there. If you were doing this on a real nail, you'd have to be a lot more careful. You don't want gel going into your sidewalls because when you cure that, that is going to hurt. Especially if you're doing it on somebody else. You definitely don't want to burn somebody else like that. Alright, so we got like a nice clear purple going on here. Kind of figured out where all my layers are going. Kind of looks like purple glass. And now we pop it in the lamp for 30 seconds. Get it? The cure? Alright, so now we're going to go in and we're going to create a couple of lines here. I'm going to add a couple of cracks. If it looks like I'm not quite sure if I want to put the brush down in a certain spot, it's not so much that I'm hesitating because I can't make up my mind, it's because my depth perception is off. So sometimes I think I'm going to hit the nail and I'm nowhere near the nail and I'm just kind of awkwardly jabbing at it with the paintbrush. I always get there eventually. Alright, so I'm just thinning out some of that white. Just gonna bleed it out a little. Sometimes you gotta rotate the nail. It's just a little easier to get at spots and pull stuff back as opposed to pushing stuff forward. You can really have a lot of fun with this technique, just building up layer after layer until you get some really gorgeous effects. And it's funny, I think I wound up putting the cracks in basically the same spot as the other nail. I should probably try to break out of that box a little bit. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a nail that only has one crack. Alrighty, and now we're gonna go in with more purple. This purple was definitely more sheer than I anticipated. I mean, I knew the jelly I was using was sheer, obviously, because it's a jelly, but I think the gelish polish was a little sheer too. Definitely had to do a lot of work to build up that purple. And purple is still pretty sheer. Like I said, I didn't really anticipate how sheer this was going to be. I'm just cleaning up the edges so I don't have pooling on the sides. But we have our basic cracks laid down, so that's good. Alright, I've added more purple to my palette, and now I am really going in with the purple. I am going hard in the purple. Not messing around anymore. We're making the purple happen. It's happening right now. That is really such a beautiful purple. So I have a Halloween, sorry, I have a Christmas party to go to tomorrow. And after that Christmas party, I am taking off these nails and I'm doing another set before Christmas. I have got a bee in my bonnet and it's gonna happen. All right, what I'm doing here, I do not recommend if you are working on an actual nail. I'm just thinning out the top edges a little where there's some polish pooled. If you do that on an actual finger, it's gonna be all up in your cuticles and that's bad time. So definitely don't do that. But you can take a whole bunch of liberties when you're working with a press-on nail. All right, it's starting to look a lot more realistic here. Still going hard in the purple. And just kind of slowly building it up, figuring out which spots should be darker. I was really trying to get it opaque enough so that I couldn't really see the putty underneath. That was just driving me nuts. There's such a pretty glow around that top edge though, on that top crack. I seem to have futzed with the bottom edge of this nail a lot. I kept putting it on and taking it off and putting it on and taking it off. I really like clear tips. I think I was initially kind of thinking it was just going to be like a totally see-through tip. You notice I'm just kind of dabbing it on. I'm not painting it on. There's not really any brush strokes. I'm just letting it kind of flow and pool and do whatever it wants to do all over the surface of the nail. If you do have brush strokes, you want to add a little alcohol just to thin it out a little bit. And if you add too much alcohol, just wipe your brush off on the paper towel and let your brush bristles just suck up the extra liquid and you're good to go. And now we're going to pop that in the lamp again for another 30 seconds. Now we're getting serious about the cracks. We're going to highlight them just a little bit more. We're going to add an extra one here, which I totally wind up accidentally wiping off. But then I put it back again, so spoiler alert. And that line is gone. It'll be back. Alright, I'm just going to kind of float the white down the edge there. Just adding an extra line for a little more visual interest. Seemed a little lonely with just 2 cracks. I wanted to add an extra one. Kind of reminds me of lightning a little bit. Alright, that's looking pretty nice. It helps if you kind of hold it up to the light every now and then to see how opaque you're getting or how translucent you still are. Remember, you don't want this to be totally solid. And I should probably make a point of mentioning you definitely, if you're going to do this technique, you definitely want to be using a clear nail. You're not going to get the same effect on a white nail. And we're going to pop that in the lamp for another 30 seconds. And here's the fun part, we're going to top coat. I decided to just leave the nail plain this time, no foil. I thought the stone effect was pretty as it was. It didn't need any zhuzhing. No blingity bling bling. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Cure it for a full 90 seconds. And that's the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I didn't put you to sleep. I hope you learned something and stick around because there's plenty more coming. Alright, peace out.